were talking about how your communication with your ex-husband has not been the greatest, and usually you just keep it to talking about the kids. Now, have you tried to talk to him anymore, or have you had any communication at all this week with him?
Yeah, I've actually talked to him a couple times this week. He's called to talk to the kids, but it's been terrible.
What happens when he calls, or
Well,
this last call?
we always get into an argument. He usually says pretty mean things to me, and we usually hang up on each other.
Okay, so how does it feel when he talks to you like that?
Horrible.
What kind of things does he say?
He tells me that I'm a bad mom and that I'm not doing things right. He always has something that I'm telling me that I'm doing
Right.
wrong.
So now, is that an anxiety-inducing situation?
Hmm.
How do you feel when you talk to him, or after that
I
happens?
hate talking to him because I always get really upset when I get off the phone with him, and then ruins my day, night, afternoon, whatever it happens to be.
So we were talking about some of the techniques that you can use to calm yourself down. What did you try to do this time?
I just tried taking a walk out in the neighborhood.
Do you think that helped at all, or?
It helps, but I still.
Right. So one thing that we're going to have to realize is obviously that you're not always going to get along with this person, but the best thing they can do is try not to make the situation even worse for yourself. So I understand it's hard when somebody speaks to you in a manner like rudely, but responding rudely back is also not going to get you anywhere. I mean, I'm sure we all have heard something like that before, but easier said than done, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that I would like you to try, though, is to specifically journal how the conversation went and some of the things you responded to him, and some of the things he said to you and how you responded to him.
Okay.
And we can talk about those next time we're here, and that way we can kind of see like better ways that we can react to the situation when somebody's speaking to us like that.
Right.
One other thing I also wanted to talk to you about is I was looking around your neighborhood, and there's like a local church that has community, like a reach out social group for women who are recently divorced. And it's a non-religious thing, so you can still go, but you can talk to other women who are in the similar situation as you. And maybe you can get more perspective and understand that you're not alone in that kind of situation.
That'd probably be a great thing to do. Because right now I don't really have anybody that I can talk to about
Right.
the situation. So.
And there's plenty of meeting times, and like you said, I know you're busy with work and the kids and stuff. But yeah, I think that would be a great thing that, something to look into.
Right.
And as far as like the panic attacks go, if you're saying they're going to be less, or they've been less this week, we're just going to keep our counseling sessions going, and hopefully they start to curve down a little bit as we like work on some ways to develop, some strategies to combat that. Now, as far as depression, you were saying you were having some trouble sleeping and just getting motivated. How has that been this week?
About the same. I still have a hard time sleeping through the night and getting a good 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
Just with everything going on and the depression and anxiety build up. Some days are obviously better than others, but it still is a problem.
Right. See, so that's normal though for somebody to be dealing with that. So right now, like after we took those tests, I wouldn't say you would have like a major depressive disorder. So I would just say it's like an acute thing. So hopefully we can see over time that these symptoms are alleviated, because you said you had no previous feelings, or there's no family history, and like you've never felt like this before. So I think it's pretty much situational.
Yeah.
So as we work to adapt to your new situation, hopefully some of these symptoms will alleviate.
Right. Since this is something new,
Definitely.
it hasn't been going on for a really long time.
Well, it's a definitely big life adjustment. So you're just learning how to live in a totally different manner again. And as far as the money goes, how are you on paying your bills?
Just barely up to date. It's been quite a struggle lately with that. It's another big stressor in my life right now.
Right. Did you look at that free legal advice that I was telling you about for the divorce lawyer?
I actually haven't had a chance to do that yet this week, but that is on my list of things to do. Tomorrow I have the day off, so I plan on doing that, looking into that, and maybe also that church group you were talking about. I can look into that tomorrow when I'm off.
Yeah, I think it would be good. And if that doesn't work, I'm sure there's many other places around that have support groups like that we can possibly look into. And possibly if we can also bring in your children and do like a group therapy session, like a family session, and just so we can kind of see where their heads are in this, because it's obviously a lot to take on for the kids as well. And like you said, your son was dealing with a lot, and his moods changed, and his
Right.
behaviors changed, and he harbors some of that resentment towards you. So perhaps if we all come in here and we can talk together, that way we can kind of see where everybody is.
Because kind of with the others, they really haven't said anything, but it could be just built up and they're not
Right.
showing the emotions.
Well, it's very different for kids, as well as adults, because it's a scary situation for them, and they don't really grasp the entire situation.
Mhm.
But I think it would be good if we can get everybody in here and talk, and maybe get some of their feelings out too.
Right.
Maybe it'll be easier for you to understand how he's been feeling too.
Yeah.
And one thing we haven't talked about much is your 10-year-old daughter too. So how she's been reacting.
She hasn't really said much and hasn't acted like it's really affecting her, but like I said, it could be just that she's not sharing those feelings with me.
Right. Yeah. So definitely we'll have to look at getting the kids to come in.
Mhm.
But other than that, we want to talk about your journals. So you said you've been doing it every day,
Mhm.
and work's been going good.
Yep. This week has been a pretty good one for work.
Okay. So next time, just be sure to bring your journal.
Yeah.
Like we talked about that last time, but I understand like it happens.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think that you've been doing a great job.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we move on?
Nothing really new, just the same kinds of issues that I've been having. Just the stress and depression and anxiety
Right.
at times.
Yeah, these are all